Yes. The answer is yes. KSI was robbed. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I'm going to try to stay calm and reasonable throughout this video because I was not happy when I heard the decision of Tommy Fury beating KSI on the Prime Card today. But it's been a few hours now. I've had some time to take it in, really digest this fight. I've looked back on it, and I really do think that KSI was robbed. Like I said, I try to be impartial on most of these influencer boxing fights, but as someone who grew up watching KSI, it is hard not to be upset about this one, especially when he's fighting someone out of the influencer scene. And I really do think, even if you're not a KSI fan, you can recognize that they got this one wrong. Yeah, I was not happy, but even at the time in my head, I was like, maybe it is right. Maybe I'm just seeing this wrong. But when I went back and looked, I still pretty much felt the same. And here's what I will say. I do think it was a robbery, but I could have understood a draw. I think at most, this fight is a draw. You can make that argument. But to say that KSI lost is a bit of a stretch in my opinion. So one judge had it as a draw. The other two judges had it for Tommy, and it's a very odd scorecard because of the deduction. That really sold it to me that KSI at least drew this fight. So in order for the scorecard to have made sense, they needed to give round 2 to Tommy. So despite the deduction, which clearly puts the round in KSI's favor, they saw that the actual boxing, the fight of round 2, went to Tommy, making that an even round. And I can't see that. So I believe the scorecards went round 1 to KSI, round 2 was even, and then round 3, 4, and 5 went to Tommy, and round 6 went to KSI. And it's hard to see. I didn't know how the rest of the community was going to react to this loss, and it just looks like a lot of people who would usually be very clear and honest about their opinions are also thinking that they got it wrong here. I really don't see that many people backing up Tommy Fury. And yes, KSI has a big fan base, but there's also a lot of people out there that did not want KSI to win this. And even a lot of those people are saying, yeah, I don't know about that one. For Tommy Fury, that was an embarrassing performance. He has gone on for months now, him and his dad, saying how if he doesn't finish KSI early in the first 2 rounds, it's going to be an embarrassment. He was so confident that this was going to be a better performance than his fight against Jake Paul. So confident that he was going to get the knockout. And to see him so excited and happy after the fight, I just kind of thought that was funny because as the professional boxer, as the guy who said he really would lose if KSI even went the distance, it's interesting to see the excuses come from him. He was saying how he was injured for this camp, he couldn't throw his right hand, and it really does make you realize Tommy can't really go far in professional boxing. His goal of becoming a world champ, that kind of has to go out the window. Everyone thought this was going to be Tommy's time. He was going to ramp up. He was finally taking this sport seriously. And the fact that this was even as competitive as it was really makes me think that Tommy's stock has dropped after this fight. His own dad was saying it could have gone either way. And you know how John Fury is. Bro is the machine. He will always back his son. And even he thought this could have gone either way. Tyson Fury looked shocked when they read that Tommy won. I thought it was a bad game plan by Tommy. He didn't really use his best weapon, which is his jab. I personally, in my video, I predicted that KSI was going to win. And it sucks that I technically didn't get that right because I felt like this was such a good prediction. And this loss just sucks. I feel for KSI. This one is tough. But what I will say is that I believe this performance puts KSI as the #1 pound-for-pound YouTube boxer. I personally don't include Tommy Fury in the pound-for-pound list, but I think this one puts KSI above Jake Paul. I think he had a much better performance. This fight was much more competitive than that Jake Paul fight, in my opinion. I know Jake Paul is going crazy. He's clowning KSI for getting emotional in the ring and not taking it like he should. He's being a sore loser. But I get the emotion from KSI. He thinks he won, and he sees that a ton of other people believe he won. And in terms of the YouTubers, I think this performance puts him as the #1 pound for pound YouTube boxer. I think a lot of people were doubting him, and even though it's a technical loss, people are going to start believing the hype. And he has announced he's going to try to get it overturned. I don't know how that's going to end up going. Maybe it will be successful. We'll have to find out. Most of the time when you try to get that done, it doesn't end up getting turned over. But with how many people seem to believe it, and it's the main event, and it's KSI, maybe it will get overturned. I guess we'll have to find out. What's next for KSI? I think the Jake Paul fight is right there. They both had decision losses to Tommy now. If KSI wants to do it, now is the time. It's going to be as big as ever. I think that fight would be huge, and I would love to see it. I would also like to see the rematch between KSI and Tommy. I don't know if Tommy's going to want to do that, but KSI in the moment said that he wants it. It'll be another big payday for Tommy. I think that one makes sense after how close it was to really put a stamp on this, decide who is the true winner. I'd love to see either of those fights, but after this one, I think we all know KSI isn't done yet. And overall, even if this doesn't get overturned, if it remains a loss for KSI, I know he's going to be very disappointed, but he should be proud of himself. This was a huge performance, and he proved so many people wrong. I hope it doesn't go overlooked just how many people were doubting KSI in this fight, saying that it wasn't even going to be competitive, he was going to get smoked, and this was only going to go just 2 to 3 rounds, wasn't going to be competitive, and look what happened. He should be proud. I have him #1 pound for pound, and I can't wait to see him come back. What do you guys think? Who really won this fight? Let me know. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow, a full recap of every fight on the Prime card. I just wanted to throw this one out first because it was on my mind and I just wanted to talk about it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more boxing content and updates. The support is much appreciated. I'll see you next time. Peace.